Hey, what's up, everyone? Give me just a second. We'll get started in just one moment. All right, I'm back. There it goes. Hold on. What's this thing happening here? Green screen. You're out of order, sir. There we go. Oh, man. You know what I didn't do? I don't think I connected the iPad. Let's see. Let's get this started. Get this joined in real fast. Killing me, Smalls. This program works pretty decently, except when it doesn't. Alright, there we go. Now it's getting started. Awesome. There we go. All right, now we got our access to our iPad. So after that huge detour over into AV evasion land again last night, at least we found out what was happening. So what was happening is we've got two different things that we used when we're generating these kits. So one of them is we have the artifact kit. Artifact. And this is responsible for executables and service binaries. So what we found out, though, is that these ones were not working. For some reason, the executables were not working, but the service binaries were working just fine. Don't know why. And the reason we kind of sussed this out is we also had our resource kit. This is all stuff put out by Fortra for Cobalt Strike. But on our resource kit, it's responsible for doing our PowerShell, our PS1 files. And those also worked. So for some reason, we had an anomaly here. And it went through the entire process again of re-bypassing and then running and testing these. So now that these are working, I want to go see what happens when we try to do something a little different. And I think this explains why PS exec was working when other methods were not. Because I think PS exec is actually using a DLL side loader, which wouldn't have been affected by this. So I want to test something real quick. First thing I want to do tonight, I'm going to test out and see if our invoke commands actually work now. So we're going to load up our attack box and we'll get cracking. Man, I had a busy day today. I was just running around all day. I had church and then meetings, and then went out for lunch, and I didn't realize how expensive restaurant food is now. Holy shit. And then went to this place called Free Play that's an arcade. You can sit there. It's got all the old retro games. It's so cool. And it's like, I think it was like $13 per person. And you can just go in there and play forever. We played for like 2 or 3 hours. It was nuts. So really great time. It was a good day. Just a long, exhausting day, especially after last night's late stream. I only got like 3 hours of sleep. All right. Let's do a little boot ups here. So let's go ahead and get Cobalt Strike. We'll get a PowerShell terminal too. And then we'll bring up our VS Code. And then we can actually go back into what I was originally planning, which was doing Configuration Manager. Where was that? There it is. Alright, let's get loaded into Cobalt Strike. So far, the new chickens are doing well. They are skittish, as they should be. They're like the size of your 2 thumbs put together. They're practically not even nuggets. Alright, let's look at this. Hello, Panda. No, quit jumping on people. She's a sweet dog, but she likes to jump too much, and it scares my kiddos. Because she weighs 20 pounds, and the little one only weighs like 25 pounds. So. Close. I think I accidentally opened like every single beacon we've got here. Yeah, we'll open up. Where's H2? Yes, we'll go ahead and start with good old Bob. So in this RTO labs, Bob is kind of our test case for most things. And for good reason, people might think, well, hey, that's unrealistic that, one user has all these different misconfigurations. And it is. But what's more realistic, however, is that you've got a couple of users with a couple of different misconfigurations or excessive permissions to stuff they don't need. For example, Bob probably doesn't need access to the SQL server unless he's developing something specifically for SQL. In that case, he should be working with the SQL developer. And that developer should be doing all the SQL side stuff. But we could say that, hey, maybe Cyberbotic's a small company, and so you've got somebody wearing multiple hats. Let's see, let's look at PowerShell. Do this.
User Bixilus Rex is online.
Bixilus Rex. Love the usernames are my favorite part. I mean, okay, they're probably my favorite part of the announcements. The second favorite part is the dial-up sound. I'm gonna have to say that. I love that dial-up sound. It just has all my nostalgia berries start firing. Oh, dang it! You know what we need to do? Hold on. So we ran into this issue last night. Anyway, hold on, before I get off. Big Solus, thanks for coming on live, man. Appreciate it. Welcome. We're going to do some hacker shenanigans tonight. So, remember how in the profile, we set the sleep default to 5 seconds, but now you see this one right here? It's going to check in at 60 seconds because we still haven't updated this. So, let's go over to our managed files. And we're just going to redo these one at a time. So, I'm going to kill this one. And we're going to rehost this PS4, I think. Oh, you know what? I don't know if we did. Hold on. Before we do that, we literally stopped right after we got the AV evasion stuff working last night. So let's go regenerate all of our payloads. Make sure we're starting with a clean slate. Once those are all done generating, because this is going to do our executables and our PowerShells, we're going to go wipe these out and we're going to reload them. So that way they've got the correct check-in time. See, it just hit 60 seconds, and now it's back and it's checked in. So that value gets stamped into the payloads at generation time. So we're going to let these generate. We're going to go wipe these off the web server, and we're going to reload them. Because what happened was, we ran this little PowerShell download exec creator, right? The bypass is our AMSI bypass. So this PowerShell window here no longer has AMSI listening. And then it downloads this DNS payload. Well, that DNS payload is still cached from before we made some of our C2 updates. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do these one at a time. So we're going to start with HTTP. We're going to kill that, and then we're going to go host a new file. And the file is going to be... Dude, you're in the right spot, man. I like teaching. It's a total teaching stream. I've been a penetration tester for 6 years, and I've been in IT for 14 years. Been breaking computers since the 2nd grade, and I worked at a college teaching computer networking. Not really teaching, kind of helping out in the lab, but doing that, helping students a shit ton. I taught a class at Black Hat 4 years in a row, and so I like teaching. This is what this is supposed to be. It's like we're gonna go along, we're gonna do some shenanigans and learn some stuff. All right, no, that's not what I want. We want the PS1 command. There we go. And we're gonna set it to just be HTTP. There we go. So we're good there. And then same thing with the SMB01. We're gonna kill that, and we'll do the same thing. So this way, if we need to like run all these different commands, we can. And then we'll just change this SMB01. So all we're doing is we're just telling it, hey, here's the file to host and here's the URL to hit to run it. Bypass can stay the same. The MZ bypass hasn't changed, but the DNS payload has changed. So we're going to host that one up now, and then we'll be set. So DNS PS1, and this will be just /DNS. And actually, you know what I'm going to do here is I'm gonna go ahead and actually take this one here. I'm gonna Control-C this. Actually, I think I gotta kill it. You go away. And we're gonna run a new PowerShell. We're gonna rerun that same command. You'll see that it's actually gonna check in a proper interval now. Yeah, man. So, dude, I wish I had. Actually, I'm trying to think. How old was I? Let me think. So I went back to school and actually started studying information security, like at a two-year university in my town, and that was in 2009. So I would have been not too much older than you, and I would have been 27. Do you think I'd be compensated fairly for being a pen tester? Yeah, pretty much. I've been at the same company for 6 years, and I'm a senior penetration tester. I had actually stepped up and was managing my team for a while and like running the show. And so it was actually a bit of a beatdown. I'm really glad I'm not doing that anymore. But there we go. Now it's checking at the right interval. So yeah, me personally, I am. There's some places that, you know, it's always going to be like this. Pay is always distributed more or less, let's call it a normal distribution, right? So here we go. So we go like this, right? So here's like the baseline pay. And then you're going to start kind of at the low end. It's going to ramp up. And then you're going to have a drop off towards the end right here. And just for the sake of numbers, let's say this is like 80K a year. And let's say this one's like 300K a year. Something huge, right? Most people are going to kind of fall into this middle of, I don't know, we'll say about 150, depending on your years in and the like who you're working for. So if you think about it, and let's say this is like plus or minus 30K, right? So we'll say we've got 120K and then 180K, right? So what happens here is this big chunk right here, this is called the one standard deviation. This is 1 SD. That covers 68% roughly of like how much people make in this industry. But then you expand this out, let's say it's another 30K, right? So let's say this is 210. And then this one here is 90K. It's just for the sake of round numbers here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete this out. I have some more room here. If we come up here, this covers like this 2 standard deviation mark. And that actually covers, so this is about 68% roughly of all penetration testers. The 2SD actually covers something like 90+%, right? So you gotta remember, there's always going to be some variability in here. It's going to depend on a lot of things. One is how knowledgeable you are. 2 is kind of what's your work ethic. Is the company feel like, hey, you got a good work ethic and we want to compensate you for that? 2 is like, hey, do you just have a good company that you're working for, or do they have a good sales team that's able to get your sales pipeline pumping, and you've got enough work coming through to justify that salary? Genesis, what is up, brother? Glad to see you again, man. So I'm either gonna get an associate's or go for my cert with my current job, HVAC tech. Oh, dude, yeah. I'll tell you something cool, actually, man. So I actually get a lot of. It's not so much now, but let's say about a year ago, roughly, I had guys that were a lot of tradesmen, and they wanted to ask me, about potentially moving into cybersecurity. And I'll preface this with anybody: don't go into cybersecurity if you just think, hey, the pay is gonna be nice, because the work is going to outpace the pay, and you're gonna get burned out. So what I tell them is like, I'd actually look at it. The one example that comes to mind was a kid who was a welder, and I was like, dude, you realize with certain welding specializations, you could actually make like 200K a year, right? You're gonna be working some overtime, but you're gonna be pulling bank. Electric nuts.
User Electric Nuts is online.
I was trying to think of a pun for that, but I couldn't. God, I love the usernames. But yeah, and so his thought though was he was kind of tapped out for what he could earn in his area. And I was like, bro, if you let's say you study for 3, 4, 5 years really hard, and you get skilled enough to take a penetration testing role, a junior pen testing role. If you want to do that, don't quit your welding job. Keep working on that. But what's going to happen is, yeah, you're going to receive probably about a 30 to 40K bump, but you're going to have to move anyway. Whereas you could have been 5 years more experienced in your welding craft, gotten certain specializations. Like there's different ones for like, I think when you work in the oil and gas field, when you're doing like medical gas plumbing, that some of the things have to be welded specially. And so if you have some of those specializations, you can make bank, and you're going to have to move anyway. But who's flagging me? Oh, it's Defender. Okay. Yeah, it's a fake Defender anyway. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to WGU for my BA in cyber. Oh yeah, that's right. You mentioned that. So I was picking your brain about what you thought about WGU, and it seems like it's a pretty solid program, especially the self-paced part of it. All right, so let's do this. So this is like just an example of, hey, we had a backdoor on Workstation 2. DNS is actually a really hard channel to work over. So what we're going to do is we're going to spawn us a different beacon that's coming back over HTTP. That is a much more stable and fatter pipe that we can work over. So we'll give this just a second. There we go. Awesome. And then actually, this DNS one, I'm going to set the sleep back to 5 on it. Just let it chill out. And then this one is going to be sleep 0, so it's interactive. We don't have to wait for it to do anything. So, hey, I say big Tuesdays and Thursday nights might be ones that you'll enjoy, because I do a mentoring stream with my buddy Salty, and he is very green on technology and on cybersecurity. So we're going over Try Hack Me with him on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so I'm basically in like, it's like Try Hack Me plus, because I'm sitting there and I'm coaching him along through it and giving him like information. That's okay to know, but don't like commit it to long-term memory because nobody uses it. Or that's super important. You want to remember that, oh, here's why this is important. Stuff like that. All right. Let's see here. This is all the stuff we were doing from our AV bypass last night. Oh, that's right. That's what we're going to do. We're going to test the jump methods. So if we wanted to go infect another machine, let's do something real quick. And we'll look at this beacon right here. So just to get a lay of the lay of the land, what we have here is this was our initial DNS beacon. Let's call that our backdoor that was sitting on the server. Really, we just went on the server and we executed our download exec code. So it downloaded the DNS code and it ran it. But that's because I didn't feel like backdooring the system. So we sit here, we run this. We then spawned our HTTP beacon, so we have a actually stable connection. DNS is a very small pipe. You can't send a lot of data over it. HTTP, you can send a bunch. And then we actually connected to another backdoor we had that gave us high-level access on the computer. That's what this is. So I'm going to connect over to this one. This one I'm done with. And what we're going to do is we're going to impersonate another user real quick. So we're running, actually right now, as Bob Farmer, but this one is actually running as a special account called the system account. And it only exists on this computer, but it's basically God mode. It's like root authority for Linux. So it can do a lot of stuff on this machine, but nothing like outside the machine. So one thing we can do though is we can access all the user's processes. And so we see that there's a process here for another account. So we're B Farmer. This is J King. So we're going to go steal that token, impersonate that user with that token, and then we can actually jump into other computers. So this was working just fine. Crap, what was this? 4076. So we give it the process ID. 4076. All right, cool. So now we're impersonating J King. And what we've got here is, built into Cobalt Strike, there's some functionality called the jump command, allowing you to jump to a different computer. And this one, invoke decom, sharp WMI, we added those. Those were special customizations we made in our custom aggressor script over here. Which, by the way, if anybody wants to check that out, nope, that's not it. Where is it? Hang on one sec. Let me grab the link to it. Here we go. So here's the GitHub link with the script, and I update it every night after we finish working on it. I'm pretty sure it's up to date. Let's see. Updated it through last week. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to update it after the stream. It should be good. I think we did make some minor modifications to it, because what was happening was these commands were working in a previous iteration of the lab. What happened is the lab got an upgrade. So right now you can see it's on version 2.4.2. We were running, I think, version 2.4.1. So we upgraded the lab. What that does is it wipes out everything in the entire lab. So we had to go through and reset up all of our attack infrastructure and reset everything else up. When we did that, now all of a sudden, for some reason, our invoke decom and our sharp WMI commands weren't working. We finally traced it down to the executables were, for some reason, crashing and weren't working. Do you think it's harder to be an entry-level penetration tester than becoming a red teamer? No, actually, quite the opposite. It would be harder to become an entry-level red teamer than a pen tester. Red teamer is actually kind of a specialization of penetration testing. I'd say it looks kind of like this. So I really should save this graphic and like draw it out. But let's say you got, hold on. There we go. All right, so let's say you got this. So let's say this is pen testing. Oh, Panda, will you stop? My dog is attacking me. She's like, you were gone all day. Yes, I know. Come here. This is Panda, by the way. This is my hacking sidekick. And she's very mad at me because I was gone all day. Because I was out running errands. Hey, you're okay. Let's say this is pen testing, and actually that's a horrible circle because here's what we're going to do. This is pen testing, and this is red teaming. They actually overlap quite a bit in what they do. So the difference here is pen tests are often they're non-objective. And what do I mean by that? It means like you're not given like an objective versus red team. An objective to complete, like get access to a particular system. These are not 100% though. That's why there's this huge overlap here in this area. Because actually there is quite a bit of overlap between red team and penetration testing. But there are some kind of usual, let's call them normal distinctions. One is pen tests are typically non-objective. I like to call them smash and grabs. These are usually for, let's say, low to medium security environments. These are typically for high security. So what's the difference here is that typically companies that like they've never had a penetration test, or they've had some, but they're still working on maturing their internal security systems, they're typically going to be in the pen test area. Why? Because if you have trouble stopping a penetration test, then you're probably going to have a lot of trouble stopping a red team engagement. Because here's another thing. These two ones tend to me not stealthy. Let's call them loud. This one's going to be stealthy. You actually are trying to avoid detection when you're doing the red team stuff. So you have to have a lot of understanding of what can you use from the pen test side over here that's not going to create a ton of noise. Or if you're going to purposefully make noise, what kind of noise is it going to make? So you have to have a lot of operational awareness. You need to have that on the pen test side too, but usually it's not so much an objective. You're just going to go in, you're going to use mostly whatever tools you need to, and if they flag alerts, that's fine. Another thing for red team is a lot of times you're doing adversary emulation. And what that means is you're going through and you're saying like, hey, how's APT 69 doing things? They're hacking into a lot of companies and they're deploying ransomware. What's their MO? How are they doing their initial access? How are they jumping to sensitive systems? How are they harvesting credentials? What kind of files are they looking for to do the encryption against for the ransomware? Stuff like that. So in red teaming, a lot of times you'll do this adversary emulation tactic where you go through and you study, hey, here's what the threat intel reports are saying that these guys are doing. So we're going to try and emulate that as closely as possible whenever we do the red teaming exercise. Do you think the skill is a significant jump or more of a different mindset? I'd say it's not necessarily a significant jump, but it is definitely a jump, and it is a different change in mindset. So a lot of times these can be done with, let's say like a remote attack box. And a lot of times this stuff is done purely over a command and control framework, a C2. And actually, so I'm over here in the pen test area. I want to move into red teaming. So I can kind of give a unique perspective on, hey, here's how you do this. And here's a little bit about how it's going to work differently over here. Trying to do everything, everything 100% over a C2 has been a big shift for me. And I had to think about how I was going to do things differently. I still knew all the same tactics and techniques and technical limitations, but I had to think, how am I going to do this over a C2 because I don't have an attack box where I could just go run the Python script I want to. So, I got to turn the fan on. It's freaking hot in the office. Oh yeah, that's much better. All right, so now what I want to do is there's a workstation 2 that we're on. With J King's account, we'll actually have access to workstation number 1. And so I want to try these jump commands again. So we're going to try jump, invoke decom, and we're going to tell it workstation 2. No, correction, workstation 1. And we're going to jump with SMB02. Please work. Dang it, I don't think it worked. Oh, it did work. Yes. So it was our busted ass executables. Because here's what this does, this script. Let's go take a look at this. So this is built in a language called Sleep, but it has access to a bunch of Cobalt Strike functions that you can do. So the overall type of script is called an aggressor script. I'm very interested to see how the Python scripts are. How far out is your test? Oh, I actually thought about possibly trying to take it this week, but instead I think what I'm going to do... Let's take a look here. So we are in this week of June. I actually have this week pretty much mostly off to do professional development. So I actually thought about maybe trying to take it this week. I don't think that's necessarily going to work. And then I'm on a couple of more penetration tests. So in reality, I think the week of 4th of July might be the week I take it. So, which is going to be a bit of a bummer because I didn't want to necessarily buy more lab time. But we only got 25 hours left in the lab. Think about this. This is the second block of 120 hours we've burned up in here. And that was just on stream. I've burned up lab time before I started streaming in February. So quite a bit of lab time, and like I've really just milked all this out. I call it side questing. What we've done is we haven't gone directly down the course path. You know, like you got the main quest line, and that's the course. We've been going off and like, you know, finding the farmer's lost sheep and like collecting berries in the forest for the lady to make wine. All those weird random side quests. So, you know, when you do that in an RPG, you tend to like get to the final boss fight and you're like way over leveled and OP. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen here because we've gone over this material quite a bit. Yeah, I'm trying to 100% the game. That's what I'm trying to do. We're going to 100% this bitch. So, dude, there's actually SM. If you want to take a look at a particular Python library that is really cool and hella handy, what's it called? It's called Impact. So Impact actually is not an attack. It does not attack scripts by itself. Actually, as funny as this is put out by Fortra, I just realized this. This is the same guys that they purchased and now published Cobalt Strike. Cobalt Strike was used by another system, was owned by another company beforehand. And Impact is really cool. It has lots of, it's basically everything you would ever want from Python for interacting with SMB systems. And if you come over to the examples folder, there are all sorts of great examples of just using the function calls built into Impact to do all sorts of things. Dump NTLM info, get a list of computers from Active Directory, get a lapse password from a computer. Where's secrets dump in here? Run Mimikatz, so you can do credential harvesting off of a system. NTLM relay. Where is it? Secrets dump. This one will actually go dump all the hashes. If you get a domain administrator, you can actually use secrets dump to dump all the hashes from a domain. And then once you have an NTLM hash, you pretty much can be guaranteed you have access to that machine or to every user in there. They have to have like one very specific control turned on in Active Directory. I have literally only seen that, and probably I've done like 150 pen tests, and I'd say probably at least 50 of those have been internal network penetration tests. I've seen one client that had that on. So you're talking like a 2% chance. And so, yeah, this is a really great example, SM. Definitely check out Impact. Here, I'll drop the link in the chat for you. Very cool toolkit. Now, one thing also I'll recommend doing is getting comfortable with Docker, especially if you want to use a lot of Python tools, because there's an undocumented... So, probably people don't realize this, but Dante actually died before the Inferno was completed. There was actually an undocumented 8th layer of hell, and that is Python dependencies. So, if you're going to be running lots of Python tools, get comfortable doing it in Docker, because then you don't have to worry about all your system binaries getting polluted and trying to fight for each other and just breaking shit. Python dependency hell is the 8th layer that Dante forgot to include. All right, so let's look at this real quick. So here's what's happening when we do the invoke decom. We just define this. This is called a subroutine, which is a function in Sleep. And then what we did is we actually registered this as a jump function for the jump command. So all it does here is it's going to open a script. So invoke decom is a PowerShell script. This actually opens it, reads the data into script, and then closes it. So this is our now has the contents of the invoke decom script. We then make a little one-line PowerShell script that we can use to run that. We then make a payload, which is an executable. This is what was breaking right here. These executables were getting busted up. And it generates a random file name. That's all it does. Then we actually upload that to our target computer where we want it to go. And then we just run it. We just do invoke decom to get a remote execution of that same command right there. Bam. So, a lot of fun there. So that's awesome that that worked. Now, let's go try this again. So I'm going to actually exit out of this one. I'm going to exit and remove. Now I'm going to try the same thing again, but we're going to do it with sharp WMI. Make sure it works. And then I'm going to try actually psexec again, because for some reason psexec shouldn't be working, but it is. Awesome. Thank you, baby Jesus. I've been fighting, trying to figure out why these were not working. Didn't even think about the binaries not being kosher. All right, so let's remove those. And then we're going to try this again real quick with psexec64. Because this actually shouldn't work. This should fail, but it should be getting flagged to hell by Defender. But for some reason, Microsoft Defender is not flagging it like it used to. So, all right, now we can actually go back to what we were doing. Let's see. Let's go back over to Blaze Bits. Let's scroll down to the very bottom of our script. These are all helper functions we've created for helping with certain tasks in the exam, but also just there'll be quality of life things once I actually need them. So, let's see. So the last thing we did is we did sccm get info. Let's try that real quick. sccm get info. Oh, what do we need for this? We need the domain, don't we? Yeah, that's it. So the domain is dev.cyberbotic.io. Let's try that. Let's give this a go real fast. We'll give it a second, because a sharp SCCM is kind of a chunky binary. It has to send it up there to handle it. That's not handy. Let me see, how's this supposed to actually run? So we're supposed to do the first set of args, which is get site info and then get collection. So did we get both of those back? Did we get site info and did we get collections? Oh, you know what? I bet it's because I think when we ran this, we just ran it against cyberbotic.io. Let me check something real fast here. Yeah, so when we actually ran this the first time, we ran it against the parent domain. So we'll let this run real quick. There we go. And now I think we didn't get that error. Yeah, there we go. Because we had an error in the first part, and it was this. So here's actually the computer that's running SCCM, the Security Configuration Manager for Microsoft. So it's that computer, SCM TAC1. And so current management point, yeah, scm.tac1.cyberbotic.io. And we're connected to that site. And then we've got a couple of collections. Okay, yeah, so we got one that's called dev, so it probably has all the dev computers in it. And then we've got one called cyber. So SCM is used to have centralized configuration management for like multiple machines. So what you do is you throw them into a collection, and then whenever you make changes against the collection, they get changed across all the machines in that thing, or whichever kind of delineation you have in there. All right, cool. So we did get that properly. I'll check one other thing. So a lot of times there is a local set of credentials, network access account credentials, that exist on these computers. But to access this, I'm pretty sure we need to have an elevated process. Because this process right here is actually running, let's call it low privilege for lack of a better term. It's actually running as a medium integrity process. This one's running as a high integrity process. But this one's also running as bfarmer, so it has access to network resources. This one's running as system, so it has unfettered access, but just onto our computer. So I think we could run it there. Actually, I want to try this on bfarmer, let me think. Yeah, I want to try just running this real quick. This is the example from the lab. Because if this works, then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make a helper function for this. Yeah, there we go. So it says sharp SCCM must be run with local administrative privileges to receive to read this data. So now what if we run it with, let me rev to self. Because we don't want to be running as JK, we want to be running as system. And then we're going to run the same command. Let's see if we can get the credentials to the SCCM service. Because if we get those, then that's just something else that's typically a high privilege service. So if we could get that, we'll be in good shape.
User Doflamigo is online.
Doflamigo. What's up, man? Thanks for coming online. All right. So that's less than ideal. Because look at this. It crashed our beacon here. Or did it, actually? Hold on. Let's try relinking to it. It might have just broke the name pipe for some reason. Hold on. I think that was on SMB. No, it was on Privest. That's what it was. I want to say we ran into this before. Okay, so it didn't look like it liked that. So yeah, this should have... Oh, wait, no, it should have been over here, though. Ran this on the wrong spot. There we go. Let's see if it relinks. Okay, so it did come back. However, when we ran this, we didn't get any data back, and for some reason it caused it to crash. And I want to say this is something I had seen before during the last time we were going through the lab, and I forget what the issue was. Oh, that's not ideal. Oh, there we go. I think when we do the WMI stuff, I think that's what causes it. Actually, you know what we have in here? We have... What do we call that? We actually made some persistence helpers. Let's go look at those real quick. Let's see. So we made some remote access and jump helpers. We did a couple of handy imports for like just importing common PowerShell tools. We did some firewall stuff. Some common aliases for... these are common tools that we use, and so rather than having to write that long-ass line of exec assembly, // blah, 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 we can just run this one line and it does it for us. Let's see, this was Kerberoasting. Unconstrained and constrained delegations. Triage and dumping Kerberos tickets. Role-based constrained delegation. Persistence methods. Here we go. This is, I think, what we want. Persist schedule task. Now, who's this going to actually run as? I'm trying to think. We actually had this set up to where it was going to just run a particular PowerShell base64 command. You can also do persist on a WMI event. That'll be handy. So I wonder, I'm trying to remember what we had to do for this. I want to say we had to have an administrator prompt as bfarmer. That's what we need. Let me see here. You know what we could actually do? Let me try something real quick. I think if we look at the spawn as command, we might be able to make this work. Yeah, so there's some commands in here that actually we purposely avoid, which is stuff that would be kind of loud and not OPSEC safe, as I like to call it. Operational security. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm actually, so like I said, I'm making the lab much harder than the test is going to be by doing stuff like, hey, I don't want to use Mimikatz. Why? Because Mimikatz opens a handle to the LSAS process. LSAS is a very tightly guarded process in memory. And so any endpoint detection or antivirus system that sees that activity is going to instantly be suspicious as fuck. So we're working on doing things in an OPSEC safe manner if we can. So what we want to do is we want to try to find a way to get this and not have it just go nuts. So there is a trick we can do. I don't know if I necessarily want to do it. But on Workstation 1, we could impersonate J-King, jump to Workstation 1, and then jump back to Workstation 2. And then we'd be able to run that same command as J-King on there with an elevated permission. So let's just see if that works, actually. So we're going to steal J-King's token again. And I knew I should have saved that damn token. There's actually a function to save those tokens to reuse them. 4076. We're going to do that. We're going to do token store, steal and use. And it is 4076. That way we're going to have that token to like constantly reuse. And then what we're going to do is we're going to jump from invoke decom to workstation 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to have it just run SMB 01. All right, so now you see we've got a connection over to Workstation 1. This is Workstation 2. This is Workstation 1, so different computers. And now actually what we're going to do is we're going to change this up. We're going to jump back to Workstation 2, but instead of using SMB, we're going to use HTTP. So this is not going to come back as a linked beacon. It's going to come back as another one on the same line as these whenever we fire it. So we'll send this. Let's see. Well, it didn't come back. Sad. Wonder why that didn't come back. What if we can get a DNS one to come back? Curious now. Hey, there we go. So if we have this one check in. See, now we have this one. I wonder why HTTP didn't come back, though, because J-King has permission to come back through the web proxy. Anyway, doesn't matter. So now what we could do is, I'm actually going to do a spawn x64 HTTP. We're going to spawn that. We got to give it just a second here to appear. It's going to appear, like, again, on this line right here. Got to give it just a second because it's got to create and upload the entire thing. Really? Are you already done? It might just be extra slow because I didn't set this to interactive before we did it, so it's only going to send as much of the binary as it can every 5 seconds. Oh wait, there it is. Did it come back? Oh, is this one HTTP? Hold on. Am I losing my mind here? This is 4584. Which process is this? This is PID. Oh, okay. No, this is not actually an HTTP one. That's what it is. Here we go. Here's 4584. So you know what we're going to do is we're going to set this one to interactive mode, and then we're going to try this again. Actually, you know what we're going to do is we're going to spawn a 64-bit TCP. And then it's actually going to link over to it. We're going to unlink it, and then we're going to link it from the other one. So we'll let this chill out for just a second. There we go. And so this should have been... Which one is this? Here we go. So then what we're going to do is actually we're going to disconnect, I think, is the command. Unconnect? Nope, that's not right. Yeah, there we go. It's unlink. Still the same thing. So I'm going to unlink that, and actually I'm going to come over here, and we're going to tell this one to link. Oh no, it's not link, sorry, it's connect. But they both use the unlink command. There we go. And so now you see this one has moved down here. So now we have jking running as this. So now if we do sccm, or hold on, let me grab this command here real quick. Let's see. Are you personally paying for Cobalt Strike, or is your job helping in that? Actually, so my job is paying for the lab time, but Cobalt Strike's actually included in the lab. By the way, since we got so many new folks, this is the lab that we're going through right here. The 0-point security red team ops course. It is not an entry-level course. I'd say it's probably a medium-level course, because there you do have to know a decent amount about how Windows operates, how Linux operates. Even though you don't use a lot of Linux in here, you do need to understand it. How some of the Windows security features happen, how Active Directory works, with common tools that you might use to work over a C2. Even though for the most part that's pretty well covered. The lab basically specializes in, hey, here's how you do some stuff, but here's how you specifically do it over Cobalt Strike. All right, so now that we have this one, I'm going to try this again. Let's see if we can get our local network access account credentials. That's what we're trying to get. Hey! Look at that. Boom. So this is a less than ideal solution. We could try the elevate command here. But none of these have actually worked whenever we've done these. Yeah, the UAC schedule task didn't work. I think service executable may have worked, but I think it gave us a system beacon, which was a little less desirable. And you know what we're going to try is, we'll try this on SMB02. We'll see if this actually works and if it does anything. Yeah, it looks like it timed out, because if this ran, it's running locally, so it should have ran it, instantly created the name pipe and connected to it. So yeah, for some reason all these elevate ones aren't working. So actually the way we got this beacon here was we found a vulnerable service on the Windows box, and we exploited it to have it run our exploit code, our beacon code, as a system service. Okay, but cool. So this actually did work just like that. I think what we want to do, though, is we want to check some stuff, though. We want to make sure, like, is this running as an administrator? Hey, what's wrong? Hey, guys, hang on one second. I think the puppy needs to go out. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to run a 3-minute ad break, so that way we'll try and, like, burn up some of these damn breaks that are happening. So grab some water, grab a snack, grab a stretch. Blood flow is important for your brain. And we'll be right back. I'm going to go take I'm going to take Panda out real fast. Dude, did the ads not run? Man, I ran some ads. That was stupid. And I thought, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll use up this time whenever the dog's being all needy. All right. We're Turner Bravo. Don't mind sharing what do you stream? I'm into cybersecurity and ethical hacking. Bro, we're doing red team stuff, so you're like in the right spot. What we're doing is going over this course. I don't know if you can actually see it right above you, but I'll drop it again. This is the red team ops course from 0 Point Security. So kind of like pretty much ethical hacking, you're just doing it a little bit differently. It's a lot of designed to hit, basically trying to see what would happen if like a very dedicated advanced hacker was coming after you. What could your company detect? What could they find? What could they block? Oh, there is. So beforehand, Big, what we were doing is we're playing a game called Grey Hack. And actually, it's a really fun game. And I use that to teach him the basics of it because the game has a very Linux-like command line. You can learn some basics of like how like network pivoting works, how exploits kind of work. It's very gamified, but it is actually kind of fun. And if you want to play the multiplayer mode, you can actually get pretty deep into it, and it becomes kind of like a giant hacking MMO. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, everything is up on YouTube, which is here. I really need to make a YouTube command here. YouTube.com. And usually I try to put it in the title. I probably should go you actually just gave me an idea. I should probably go make a playlist with all the streams with Salty and drop those in there. Hang on one sec. God, I don't know why my allergies have been acting up so crazy today. They've been fine, like, throughout all the rest of the weird weather Texas has been having. Alright, so this command that we had here worked. But what we want to do instead is also, we're gonna create a helper in our aggressor script to help automate this. But one thing we're gonna have to check is like, admin status. Oh, there we go. Yes. This is exactly what I wanted. Check if the beacon is an admin. If it is admin, then we can do this. Oh, you know what I want to try, actually? Don't know how to do that, though. Hey, no problem, man. Trying to think how I want to do this. Well, I know how I want to do this. So what we're going to call this... Let's call this get network access account creds. And so we're going to make a subroutine. We're going to call this SCCM get NAA creds. And then first thing we're going to do here is we're going to drop this. If is admin. So we're going to check and make sure the beacon is an admin. Else. What we'll do is we'll do a B error here. So we're just going to return an error to the beacon. I think it's... What's the command here? Yeah, there we go. So it's just beacon and message. So our message will be must be run as administrator. Admin user. There we go. And then we'll just have the function return there. So we're done. Boom. Now we can actually just go put in all of our logic to go ahead and run this. And in fact, this one is going to be real easy, actually, because it's just going to be... We're going to call this our... Well, actually, we'll do this. We'll make an args option here. Args is just going to be... this right here. And I want to go actually look at something. So Sharp SCCM has different ways of doing this. So this one did it over WMI. Let's go look up the Sharp SCCM docs. So if we come take a look here, there should be attack M out here at Wiki. Let's see. Videos and talks. Orders. Not what I was hoping for. I wanted to see... here we go. Command line usage. Let's see. So the command we're running is local. I wonder if we can actually just run that here on our local box. Let's try that, and then see if we can get some useful help output from it. We'll run this, and we'll do local TAC-H. See if we get some contextual help menus here. Now, this is a chunky binary. Takes forever to run. Okay, so we have the command, we have the options. So our commands are, we use the NAA command. Get policy secrets, network accounts, task sequences, collect variables stored locally in the WMI repository. Okay. Requires local administrator group membership on a client. So I think if we do NAA and do, again, attack H, we can check the options here. Oh, here we go. So we have two methods. We have disk and we have WMI. The disk method can retrieve secrets that were changed or deleted. Escalate the system via token duplication. Oh, okay. Actually, that's nice. Default is to modify and revert permissions on the LSA secret registry. I don't know if I want to mess with the get system option right here, but I do want this method here. I think I do want that. I think we're just going to leave that as WMI, but I actually want to go test it as the disk read method. I kind of want to see what happens. So, like, can I use the disk read method here? Let me see. No, stop that. So let me cut this command out. I'm actually going to rep to self real quick. So what that'll do is drop our impersonation, so we're just running as the system account. I'm going to run this, but I'm going to change the method from WMI to disk. I want to see what happens here. Because WMI actually requires the correct user permissions. If we can do the disk method and run it from a system beacon, that would be more handy. That's so weird that that kills the name pipe. How very, very odd. So it's messing up something with SMB and killing the name pipe because this one didn't drop. The TCP one didn't drop. Let's see. Heck yeah, man. Which, yep, we're just doing our thing, man. What's going on? So we're testing out some attacks against Microsoft Security Center Configuration Manager. I think that's the name of it, SCCM. And we're trying to steal some credentials out of it. Yep, so what we've been doing is actually rerunning through the lab real fast. And then helping automate and make some helper functions in a Cobalt Strike Aggressor script. It goes through, and so we can try and execute some of these tasks quicker for the exam. And also, just if I get into the red teaming role that I want, I get to use Cobalt Strike, then bam, I've got an instantly little handy repository I can use. All right, so it looks like it doesn't matter if we do WMI or this. I want to kind of test something though. Let me check for something real quick. Let's do this. So we lost all of our links here. I'm going to relink over to... Why is this not working? There we go. That'll reestablish our link to those other two beacons. We'll just leave those up for now. I want to try something, though. Let me try... Privesk. So we already did the unquoted service path. I'm pretty sure. I think we did weak service binary permissions was the next one. Let's see. So I think we actually have permissions to run against this. Copy. Oh crap! What's the? I'm trying to remember what it is to get the actual permissions we've got against it. That's what. Let's do this. Power pick ls against this binary. Maybe we need to double quote that. I think we might be able to mess with that. Let's cd to that directory. I think we might have permissions to rename that. Let's do PowerShell. I think it's stop service. So let's stop the service. We'll stop vuln service 2. I know we're jumping around quite a bit, but it's because I want to check something. I need to get a TCP listener running in here that's running a system. Because I want to check something and see if I can do this from a system prompt. Because for some reason, I have found out that with Defender enabled, it's actually easier for me to try and get a system prompt than it is to actually get like an administrative prompt from this guy. Unless we do something like we did with J King, where we could bounce to workstation 1 and then bounce back to workstation 2. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I like teaching, dude. It's a lot of fun. I have a blast with it. And Salty is he's such a cool guy. He's just very down to earth, genuine, good old Marine. And I fucking love Marines.
User Witch Hunter Bravo is online.
Witch Hunter Bravo, come on online. I just realized I ran that with PowerShell instead of PowerPick. So the difference between those two is PowerShell will just run a regular PowerShell binary, so I can run PowerShell commands on the system. If I use PowerPick, it's actually using unmanaged PowerShell, which is basically PowerShell with no front end to it. And we have an AMSI bypass built in that way. Oh, good. That did stop it. Okay, awesome. So now, it's our present working directory. All right, so I think if can I rename? Move? I think I can. So we're going to move service. Yeah, service2.exe. We're going to move that one, and we're going to call it service2.exe.back. Access denied. You're full of crap. Yeah, some people have asked. No, I was not in the Marines. I did not serve in the military. I just love Marines, and I'm a fangirl. Like, top 3 favorite military groups are Marines, SEALs, Delta Force.
User Insane Crazy is online.
Insane Crazy. Nice. Talk about an intensifier. I'm not just crazy. I'm insane crazy. Thanks for coming online, man. What's so weird is this was flagging it as having weak binary permissions. Let me look at something real fast. Let's go hop over to that machine real quick. I want to go look at that path. Because it shouldn't be flagged as having weak binary permissions. I'm not sure why it is. That's not what I wanted to do. We'll just go to it, mate. I think it's program files. Shit, what was the path here? Yeah, program files, vulnerable service, and then it's the service executable. So we'll come here. It's for service 2. So if we go to the security page, this tiny ass little window. Users have read, write, execute, and read permissions. Administrators have full control. Let me double check something real fast. Make sure I'm not losing my mind. Yeah, this actually should have been this one should have been flagged for that, I believe. Actually, or maybe just service executable 3. All 3 of these should not have been flagged as having weak service binaries. But let's check. We should actually see it flagged for weak service permissions. Yeah, there we go. So this service, gosh, what are you doing? So vulnerable service 2 has weak permissions on the service itself, meaning we can go in and we can modify the service. Oh, I forgot we chained that together. I forgot about that. So we had vuln service 2, and then it actually went and ran the thing. Yeah, it's going pretty great, man. Had a good day. I was just really tired most of the day. We streamed pretty late last night because we hit a roadblock in the lab. We had so what we've been doing is we've been making a lot of custom functionality for Cobalt Strike. And when we did that, some of our functions stopped working, particularly this one right here. So like if I come in, I run the jump command here. If I run the jump command here, these are all different methods you could use to go basically jump to another computer, like the name implies. And we actually created these two, the Invoke Decom and the Shark WMI. And these were working before I wiped out the lab and I reset it to back to scratch. And then they stopped working. Well, we did some detective work last night. We found out what happened is we actually had put in some antivirus bypasses so that our binaries wouldn't get detected by Windows Defender. Well, when we did that, we didn't break everything. The service executables were working, the PowerShell scripts were working, but our just regular executables were not working. So we had to go through the process again last night of reworking those. Once we had all those done and we finished checking it, it was like 1:30 in the morning. And I had to get up at like 6 in the morning to go walk the dog and get ready for church and everything and get the kids fed. So it was a long day, and it was a fun day though. It's just a little bit of a beatdown because I was so tired. But we finally got to go. We wanted to go to this arcade called Free Play, and there's a couple of them here in the area. And when we went there, it's like $13 for all you can play classic arcade games. Like they had everything from like the old Tron games. They had game cabinets older than I was from like 1983, and it's like they have everything from there up to like some of like the newer modern ones. So it was so fun. I have an old laptop with a bad drive. Do you think I can learn a lot about ethical hacking and I run tests against it? I mean, dude, actually, if you really wanted to go start learning something about it, check out doing, you could actually practice doing some digital forensics against it. If the hard drive's really bad, that's actually a really good case for doing, maybe try data recovery. So I would say, yeah, you could use that old hard drive to start working on it. Typically what you would do is you would pull that hard drive out though. You wouldn't work with it on that system. And you would connect it to another system and set it up in such a way so that data doesn't get written to it. And so you can, in the real world, you would use a hardware write blocker. Every piece of data that's sent to be written to the disk gets blocked on the actual cables that are connected to it. Don't worry about getting anything like that because those are stupid expensive. Instead, just use a software write blocker, one that says, don't let the operating system write to it, and you'll be fine. But yeah, you could go through and work on doing that. You'd take that hard drive, you'd connect it to it, you would copy down the data from the hard drive, and you put it into another hard drive as like just a raw binary copy. And then there's all sorts of cool tools to work with it. Let's see, I'm just starting to learn Python, badass, and working on joining Tech World in the next 2 years. Awesome, man. Dude, actually now is a good time to gear up because, to be quite frank, the Tech World has had a contraction. And it even has contracted so far that it hits security. Usually, when things contract, you're talking like administrator jobs are like the outside shell. They get peeled off first. Those are things that get cut. And then it kind of just slowly goes in from there of like less and less critical roles. The nice to haves, right? Those get clear. Security is usually like this kind of insulated shell. But security is not invulnerable to this. And what happens here a lot of times is actually red teamers, offensive security folks, tend to be on the outside shell of that. Blue teamers are like the hard nugget center. Those are usually the last jobs to get cut. So you can tell if a company's doing real bad if they start laying off their blue, like a bunch of their blue team. That means they're either idiots or they're in dire straits, or they hired the wrong people. It could be a couple of things, but typically that very hardened core is the blue team. The red team sits kind of around that. So we have more fun, but we're also paid slightly less and we're more expendable. I know little basics of Python, like variables, minor stuff. Dude, it's always great to do it. So one of the things that will help you learn a language, and it doesn't actually, I'll tell you this, for your first language, it doesn't matter what it is, because the same patterns arise in all the other languages. And once you get used to the syntax, how it's written, you can translate to other languages. So I have modified code in probably 24 different languages. You know, Bash, Python, Perl, Rust, C, C++, C Sharp, Golang, JavaScript, TypeScript. I mean, I can keep going. That's just the ones I can name off the top of my head. I'm already at 8, right? So PHP, fucking PHP, God. So once you kind of learn C hashtag, yeah. So once you learn like one base language, you can take a lot of those same concepts and pivot over to other ones. There will be a few that like the concepts are way different from kind of the established norm. So like if you know Python and you try to go to something like Rust, there's going to be a big jump there. And same thing with like Golang, because not only is Python lets you be very flexible with the types of data you use, Rust and Golang and C and C++, those are all strongly typed languages, which means, you know, you need to define what type of data this variable is. If it's an integer, if it's a string, whatnot. So that will probably be the biggest thing if you choose to go with Python as your first language. That's a great thing to do because Python, it has a ton of usability to it. But also, you're going to have to jump a hurdle whenever you kind of go to other strongly typed languages, because you're not going to be used to like defining what's the shape of the data. You can't just say, var x equals something. You're going to have to say, integer x equals this. It's not just a generic var command or whatever it is in Python. I cannot write Python from scratch to save my life. I always have to go check on it again. I've probably taken Intro to Programming. I think I took it like 4 times between high school and when I finally graduated from college. Because it always came in different iterations and was always needed for something different. I took it in high school, I took it in junior college, and then I took it in my 4-year university, which was TCU. So, okay, 3 times. I took it 3 times. And each time it was a different language, too. In high school, it was C++. In the junior college, I think it was Python. And then at TCU, it was Java. Java. Java's for drinking, not for coding. Little panda. All right, let's see here. So what we're doing is we're just double checking some of these items right here. Actually, I forgot what the hell. Oh no, that's right. I was trying to priv-esc again to get, because this one's running over TCP. I need to do something real quick. Let's come over here to our listeners. I'll move you down, right? Yep. I need to go make another TCP listener. Let's add one. We're going to call this one TCP 31338. And this is going to be a TCP beacon. There we go. And the port is going to be 31338. There we go. And we'll save that. Oh. So we always have like a naming convention here so we can kind of keep track of where these are. So SMB01, that goes to the name pipe, BlazeBit01. Same thing with the priv-esc. So we just did the same thing here. Now that we have that, we can actually work on it a little bit. Ruscan and Nebu. Yeah. So one of the downsides to the RTO lab is it is isolated from the internet. So the only way you're going to get tools up here basically is if you download them, you do a base64 against them, and you copy and paste the base64 into the lab, into the lab. Then you can go through and you could reconstruct it, and you could do that way. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, so you're not going to do it for like very large things. I would say probably the largest thing that we've done with that. I don't see it in here. Actually, yeah, hold on. So this was our AMC bypass right here. And it was 281 lines. You could probably copy like 1,000 lines at a time. because I've copied this entire thing out and it just hit 1,000 lines. It was like 900 something. But yeah, so that's pretty much the only way you're going to get like custom tools. Like if I wanted to try and run Rust Scan, which this is what I'd have to do. I have to go get it up into the system that way. So actually what we're going to do after finishing up the RTO is I'm going to we're going to do a couple side quests again before we start up RTO 2. Hopefully, I still need to ask Rasta for permission. I just keep forgetting to do it. Because I did ask Rasta Mouse's permission before I started streaming the lab. So I keep the course content up over here, right? I just don't show it because I feel like that's just giving away the course. But we do so much above and beyond and outside the course, just testing random shit. He said, "Yeah, sure, you can do the labs over on the stream." Oh yeah, so I did have some notes we were writing, but essentially what I'm doing is I didn't really keep track of those. I did have those notes. They're somewhere. I forget where. I did copy them off the attack box before I reset it. But really going through and rewriting these aggressor scripts and making these helper functions has helped me actually understand the attack paths even better. So I've been really enjoying basically expanding the functionality of Cobalt Strike. So really did want to do this. I just don't get why it's... Okay, you know what? I'm going to try this. 31338. I think if I want to do this, what I'm going to have to do is I have to stop the binary and then reset it. You know what I need to do? I need to generate my payloads. Because we don't have... I'll just let it regenerate. I don't give a damn. But because we just made that new listener, so we got to generate all the payloads for that listener. I saw a bunch of different notes. What was those that marked bypass and others? Bypass and others. You mean over in here? Oh, you're talking about this one right here, this bypass PS1? Oh, so this is just an AMSI bypass. What this is, so basically it defines a C# script and then invokes it in PowerShell, and it breaks the AMSI hook in here. So let's here's what happens with that. Eventually, I have to start some new notes because my tablet's starting to lag. The notes section is so huge in this thing. All right, so what happens here is, let's say you are logged in as Bob, right? Bob has a number of processes assigned to him. One of them is going to be explorer.exe. And this is actually the graphical interface right here. This is the GUI for the desktop on a Windows system. The desktop right here. And then whenever you go in, like, let's say you run PowerShell, what happens is it actually gets nested under explorer.exe. So then we're going to have PowerShell.exe. This could be a child process. And believe it or not, PowerShell.exe actually doesn't run the code you send it. What happens here is it actually gets sent to conhost here. Conhost.exe. And this is actually the one that actually runs your code. Runs the code here. So every time this happens, though, I don't know if it happens in PowerShell or conhost, but whenever this process spawns, it spawns with a hook into its memory called an AMSI hook. That's the anti-malware scanning engine. Oh, no, sorry. Anti-malware scanning interface. So this is hooked right here. So what happens is every time we submit PowerShell stuff to PowerShell.exe, AMSI is taking it and it's looking to see what's happening with it. So if we go through and we run our AMSI bypass, what happens is it comes through and actually kills the hook. Now we can go run pretty much whatever we want to inside PowerShell and doesn't get hit. So when we have our download and exec cradle here, we actually run these commands back to back. So first thing we run is we have it download and execute our MZ bypass. So that breaks the MZ hook in that PowerShell process we just spawned, and then it immediately runs the like whatever we want it to download and execute, whatever beacon. So we break the MZ hook, and then we immediately run our next malicious code that we want to happen here. So yeah, I have these are just some very short notes. I had some longer, more complex notes. And actually, I was working on making notes into a Git book. I probably should do that. Maybe I'll spend some time doing that this week because I have some professional development time at work. But really, this aggressor script has helped out understanding the attack paths a lot more. All right, so let's do something here. We're going to do B execute assembly. So the beacon is going to be $1. The assembly is going to be our sharp SCCM. And then parameters is going to be args here. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Except we need to change this because there's an error in the autocomplete. And it always puts B execute, which is like running a local binary rather than running like the execute assembly. Yeah, actually, and I didn't write this. This was actually provided to me from someone else. But all MZ bypasses kind of work on the same way, and that is, it's some way to bust that MZ hook into your PowerShell process so you can kill it. And so actually, that's what I'm curious about that. Does MZ hook PowerShell.exe or what do I call it? Condoms.exe. Trying to see if anybody has an explanation of it. I'll have to go check. I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody has answered that explicit question. Because like I said, what happens is PowerShell actually spawns con hosts to be able to actually run the commands. So I'd be curious to know what it does. But this AMC bypass, there's a ton online. MZ.fail is one of them where you can generate encoded payload. I don't know if MZ.fail actually works anymore. I've tried a couple different things with it and it didn't quite always work. So I don't know if that one would work, but let's see. There is MZ. Let's see. Interesting. Let's see here. Actually, I think this is actually very similar to the one I just had in there, so I'll drop this in the chat. So if you want to read through this, I think this one is very similar. But there's a couple different ways to do it. One is you basically, the one that I actually really like is forcing an error. So what you do is you structure like a call that when AMZ scans it, it forces like a fail. It forces like a segmentation fault or something, kills that AMZ process that's associated to that process, and that in turn kills the hook. So you're basically forcing an error inside of AMZ, so you unhook it from PowerShell. That was the one I've used quite a bit. I like it. Oh, good. Payload's finished generating. It probably finished a while ago. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to upload. I'm going to upload payloads, TCP, and we're going to do 31338 service binary. And then what we'll do is we'll move. Are we going to move that? Actually, yes, I am. Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cheat real quick. Copy that. Let me do an ls real quick. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move service.exe I'm going to call this one service.exe.smb1, smb01. That's going to be my way of understanding where that is. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move our... Dude, did I really just do that? Yep, I sure did. Did I do that here? Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is move... Oh my god, stop doing that. Damn it. If you hit Control B, it takes your current tab and jacks it to the bottom. I'm hitting Control B on accident instead of Control V. Alright, for fuck's sake. Move this guy to service.exe. And then what I can do is I can run powerpick start service vuln service 01. Is that not it? Is that start service? Oh, cannot find vuln service 01. Or what was it? Let me see what the name of it is. Yeah, vuln. Oh, it's not vuln service 01. It's just vuln service 1. So now if we start this, we should have... we'll let this run for just a second. Is it? No way it's case sensitive here. Vuln service 1. Maybe it is case sensitive, which would be very odd for a Windows system. Nope. Maybe I need to stop it. Maybe it's already started. And now maybe we try to restart it. Failed to start service. Okay, you know what I want to do? Let's run netstat tag ANOPTCP. See what's listening. Yeah, so it definitely didn't run because we only see 31337 running here. Let's fix this real quick. So that's a bit of suck. Let me see. I'll tell you, we'll just do this with the raw command. So we'll do service config. Let's check where it says. Checking something real fast here. Yeah, it's just sc start. Stop. So do run sc start vuln service 1. That should be right. Now if we run our netstat command, that's okay. That's okay. Let's see here. Did we do the stop on it? I guess not. Let me try stop this again. Alright, so if I start vuln service 1, do ls real quick. I'm going to copy service.exe to service. I'm going to make a backup of it real quick. TCP 31338. Yep. Let's see. So, yeah, we should have it in there. It's this kind of weird. Now, you're talking about, like, do I feel ready for the exam? There's some odd activity that actually does give me a little bit of pause for the exam. It has me a tiny bit worried. And it's stuff like this where, like, hey, this command should totally be working, and it's not. Because I shouldn't be, there should be nothing stopping me from running that service. And also we should see once we run the service. Check something real quick. So we already stopped this, didn't we? It's not been started. Okay. Good. So now, I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to remove service.exe, and I'm going to remove that file. I'm going to re-upload this just to be absolutely sure. Service exe.tcp 31338. There we go. All right, so then we're going to upload our payload. We're going to upload TCP 31338 service exe. And I'm going to move that. I'm going to move that to service.exe. And then I'm going to do run sce start to that's the service control, service config command, one of the two. We're going to start boom service. What? It says start pending. All right. Got this running. And then if we run netstat again. So what these command line options do, by the way, are doing ANOP, Alpha November Oscar Papa. That's list all of them in numeric format, the process, the owning process, and the protocol is the last thing, which is TCP. Yeah, see that? So for some reason, 31338 is just not running. Service.exe. I'm going to copy that. So just have a backup of it. There we go. Hang on one second. My computer just decided to get all funky with my window layout. Alright, cool. Sweet, so now we've got this up here and running. Why is this just not running? So if I just run that, and then I run netstat, we see that actually comes back. That's really weird. Man, don't tell me the service binaries broke from something we just did, because I'm going to be pissed if they did. I want to run payloads, TCP 318. Yeah, so I know that ran. Okay, yeah, because I see 31338 running here. So 7540. Let me go kill that processor real quick. Dude, I'm hoping that the freaking service binaries didn't get jacked up again when we were doing the bypasses, because I'm going to be pissed. We already went through this BS last night. Let's see, so this is PID 7540. Let's go kill that process real quick. 7540. End that process. Yep, so we don't see anything in here. So now, how can I run the service? Actually, I think I can do it from here. Let me do something real quick here. This is what I was talking about, getting stuck in a side quest hell. Actually, let me run something real quick. We're going to run our AMC bypass just to be sure. Even though we've got real-time scanning turned off, so we shouldn't need that, but I'm going to run it just in case anyway. All right. Okay, so we don't see the unquoted service path happening here. I think we could just go through and make a new service real quick, though. Let's see. Try and make a new service. I'm trying to. I don't want to connect to another computer. I want to go make a service. Let me see here. Windows. Service. Oh, okay, so we could actually just do it with the SC create option here. I guess that's easy enough. So SC create, give it the name, bin path, executable. Okay, easy peasy. Fine, I'll close you out. We'll just do this the hard way. So do create. We're going to call this test service. And we'll do bin. Okay, it's bin path with a capital P. And there has to be a space there. So do payloads, TCP 31338, service executable. Oh, damn it. We got to do that from an elevated prompt. I forgot about that. So run this as an administrator then. And then we'll run this command. Success. All right, so then we could do SE start test service. All right, now if we go run netstat, let's see what we have here. Oh, this is not good. Oh no! Did we fucking break the service binaries again? Dude.
User Brian Hoyle is online.
Alright, what's up, man? Thanks for coming online, bro. Dude, if we broke the service binaries, I'm gonna be pissed. I'd be so pissed if I did that. Hang on one second. Let me check a command I need to run here. Okay, so we need to change this again. So we're going to run sc fig, and we're going going to call the test service. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the bin path. And we're going to do the exact same path, except we're going to do the other TCP listener, 31337. Ooh, hope this works. Wait, what's it saying here? A positional parameter cannot be found that accepts argument bin path.
Hack the planet!
Hack the planet! Yeah, SC config, the name of the service, bin path equals. Right, maybe I need to wrap this. This? I don't think this should be the issue here. Yeah. It should just be this. Yeah. SC config, vuln service 2. Oh, hey, Stealth Proxy. What's up, man? Dude, I think when we did the freaking AV bypasses last night, we fixed the executables and broke the service binaries. This is my angry face. So I'm sitting here trying to test it real quick. SC config, this binary name, then bin path. Oh, you know what? I need to do sc.exe. That's it. That was the problem there, because I forgot. SC, it's trying to do, it tells us right there, it's trying to do the set content. This is an alias for set content. You bastard. Alright, so if we start the test service... Oh no. Bro. Bro! No! No! This is some bullshit! You know what sucks is this was working... Before we did the AV bypass, the service binaries are working and the executables are not. Now, the executables are working and the service binaries are not. What the French toast? This does not rock. Hang on one sec. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back. Dudes! Sorry, I had to go scream into the void. And by that I mean I needed to pee real bad. So, Stealth, bro, remember we were going through redoing the AV bypasses last night? Well, those worked for the executables now, but the service binaries don't work anymore. Urgh. Let me try something else real quick here. I'm going to try something real quick. Let me come over here. Let's go over to our console manager. Script manager. I'm going to actually unload the artifact kit. And then I'm going to create a standalone object here. So I'm going to generate a beacon for listener. TCP 31337. And we're going to make a service executable. Generate. Put that in the payloads directory. Okay. Then what we'll do is I'm gonna test this, because if it really is our AV bypasses that have busted it, then unloading that should have made that one generate normally. So let's come over to here. So we'll set the bin path to payloads, and it's just gonna be set to beacon here. And then we'll tell it to start the service. And then we'll run netstat again. Okay, so yeah, for some reason it's not even showing up here. See that? So maybe the service binaries aren't jacked up. Let me check something in the resource kit real fast. Yeah, resource is just for our PowerShell stuff. The artifact kit handles all of our service binaries, all of our executables in binary formats. Are they broken or just getting picked up by Defender? They're busted. Because I don't have on the attack box where I'm testing these on, I don't have them set up for real-time detection. So let me think about this. How the hell can we unfuck this? Let's see here. Now, one thing that kind of worries me a little bit. Let me try something. So here's our test service. I think we can edit it from here. I'm gonna try running this. Process terminated unexpectedly, which is not unusual. Hey, wait, now we've got 31337 listening. Okay, so for maybe some reason the start command was just jacking it up. Oh, All right, let me go kill that processor. Let's go to details. What process was that? So that was running on 2097. So let's go kill that real fast. Wait, I don't see 2097. Oh, hold on. What is it? Yeah, 2096. Oh, it's right there. End task. Right. So now let me try this. Let's load back in. Actually, we don't have to load back in anything. We can just go change the binary. So if we go change the binary back to TCP 31337, service executable, come back over here. I'm going to restart this. Got the same error, which is fine. Because what happens is when that service executable runs, what it does is it invokes it into run DLL32, and then that's where you're actually running. That's why if we looked at the process in Task Manager, it said it was running under, it was executed as run DLL instead of as whatever the binary name was. Is that really what this is? Am I just tripping? Freak, what is up, my brother? And no, this is not Zen Stealth. This is another one called Lucy, but it is nicotine. So nicotine is handy for at night studying because the half-life of nicotine is so small, especially compared to caffeine. So like I can literally be using this right up until bedtime and I'll be fine. Really, if I laid off it at least a half hour before bedtime, I'd be in really good shape. But I like to use it for when I'm studying at night because it, like I said, it gives me that little extra brain power without necessarily a lot of caffeine. The Jocko drinks don't have a ton of caffeine in them. It's probably equivalent to like a 6-ounce cup of coffee, maybe an 8-ounce. So it's not very much. And I'm a high caffeine metabolizer. I roast caffeine fast in my bloodstream. So I do these things even though I know they, in theory, might interfere with my sleep, but I get to be an exception. I've got just like a dead set sleep routine where my body knows, okay, hey, here's the time to shut down. It actually catches me off guard whenever like I can't fall asleep. Last night was one of those examples. That's why I didn't get very much sleep last night. Are they really? Because occasionally I will go pick up a Zen, like if I run out of the Lucy's, but actually I've cut back quite a bit on how much I was using. When I was super stressed out, I was using a ton of nicotine. But honestly, my my stress level over the last several months has like really kind of flatlined out. So I'm not using my entire month's supply. I'm usually using slightly less. All right, let's go kill this one. This would be, yeah, 6244. How do you kill a process in PowerShell? I just want to automate this shit. PowerShell kill process. He's like, you were neglected me all day. Oh, stop process TAC ID. And so this was 6244. What do you mean you can't find that process? Well, it might have done that with, because I am an idiot and I fat fingered it. It says access denied because it's a high priv process. We just had to run it from our other window. There we go. Maybe because I live in a way less cool state, yeah. I mean, it might be. I like that old joke where it's like, hey, do you know why taxes exist on like smoking and alcohol? And they're like, oh yeah, because it's supposed to de-incentivize you from smoking and drinking. It's like, okay. So then how come we tax income? Let's see. All right, well, this is actually good. This means that we can reload our artifact kit and we'll be fine. Now we just got to figure out why the service was not starting. I don't get why they... let's do something. Let's see where we had everything set up here. So we got service.exe, which I'm pretty sure is at TCP 31337 because we were checking netstat. I see 31337 there.
Caution. A virus has been detected.
Salty!
Salty Demon 86 virus detected in the network.
My salty brother, what is up, dude? How you feeling, man? I gotta slow down the salty virus with the Cookie Monster. Don't. Hey, Deb. Hey, baby. I need to make a raid emote. I think I can get rid of the sunburn one. I think I've got that kind of under control. Hey, Wall, what's up, man? Mr. I'm too cool to ever message Blaze. Yeah, whatever, you know. However you gotta justify it to yourself, man. Let's kill that one. Shit, what was the process? 5924, okay. Power pick, stop. Process.
Caution. A virus has been detected.
Another one,
Griffin
Griffin!
virus detected in the network.
What's up, dude? What is up, man? How are you going? I saw you were online earlier. You're gonna send me a gift for grilling Salty? So Griffin, you just raided, and then Salty raided like 2 minutes before you. So it's like attack of the viruses in the network. Setting up the Cookie Monster. So we've been fighting with some of the binaries where we did the antivirus evasion stuff last night, and I thought it was broken, and no, it's just Windows being dumb. That's exactly what it is. 592. Let's kill that process. There we go. I need to get some food in my belly, but I hope you have a great rest of your stream. Yeah, dude. Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for hopping on. I know, dude, you were up late last night, so yeah, do your thing, bro. Thanks for just hopping in. We're just gonna keep doing the good old hacker shenanigans. Oh no! Oh no! I killed myself. I killed the process that our beacon was running in. Ugh. Oh Lord. Talk about being dumb. I forgot that that's where that was running. Good Lord. Because I thought we were running over an SMB channel. I forgot we were running over a TCP channel. So, way to go, Blaze. That was a smooth brain move. Hold on. You know what we can do is we can just jump. We can just jump back over to that system. So we can do invoke decom. And we will do this over SMB. We'll do SMB. Oh, no, sorry. We got to jump to workstation 2. And we'll do it over SMB. So this is actually going to create a new beacon up here. We can just remove this one. What do you mean access denied? I thought I remember setting 31367 as the beacon when you did the code. Yeah. I forgot when. So what we did is we did a little bit of jumping around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump up, and get down. So what we did is we had a initial beacon on workstation 2. Right? Then, and this was as B Farmer, the BF. Say. Here's what happened. We got BF, and then we had a system process on workstation 2. But there's some stuff I wanted to do on that. So then we actually we stole J King's token. And then we used that to jump over to workstation 1 as J King. And when we did that, J King, that was an administrator beacon. So we had administration rights. Then we actually used that to jump back to workstation 2 as J King in another administrator beacon. So in a roundabout way, we had this. Then what I did is I actually broke this link, and I had Bob actually come in and connect to this because I didn't want this long connection to it. And this was over that TCP 31337 link. And so when I killed that process, I killed this beacon. Oh, I is the smarts. Now I wonder why this failed, because we should have plenty of access as J King over to that system. Let's try running it again. I don't know why we got an access denied. It looks like it may be working this time. Fingers crossed. No? What the crap? Well, let's do it. Let's try it with our Shark WMI instead. Sometimes I've noticed, I don't know why, but these beacons can get a little bit corrupted. What the hell? What do you mean you can't access Workstation 2? You bastard. That's weird, because J King is a system administrator. J King has permissions on Workstation 2. It's this kind of oddities that drive me a little batty with this. You know what I'm going to do is we're actually going to, we'll start from scratch. I'm going to reboot Workstation 2 here. So we're going to restart this one. So we'll let that do its thing. That's going to kill all of these beacons except for this one here. So we're going to exit. Yeah, we'll remove that one. Actually, let's do it from here. Yeah, so all these are going to go away. And then once Workstation 2 comes back, we'll restart this one. No, I don't know what the 50,000 port was. That wasn't us, though. I usually start at 31337 because I try to be elite and work up from there. Oh, the ads are running right now, so we probably can't see that. That's all right. Let's see if we can get reconnected over here. Hey, there we go. All right, so we'll let this come back up, and then we will go. I wonder what happened to our Workstation 1 though, or Workstation 2 beacon. It died. All right, fine. Just remove you. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually move this down. This up. There we go. Because then I can see when stuff checks in down here. All right. So once Workstation 1's back up, we're gonna restart our beacons here. I'm just going to restart. I'm going to go right to an HTTP beacon. I'm tired of doing the DNS dance. There we go. Let's kill a bunch of these beacon terminals because we don't need them anymore. There we go. All right, so let's do this. Let's do a, let's run netstat again. See what we have listening. Okay, so let's do ls against .pipe. Windows Defender found threats. That better be the console history. Let's see. All right. So I'm trying to learn local process injection. Hold on. I think it's just jacking up here.
User Cryison is online.
Hey, Cryson. Thanks for coming online, man. Welcome, welcome. All right. So, Freak said I'm trying to learn local process injection. I did UUID obfuscation, but when I compile on VS Code, I got an exe, but the injection always fails. I tried it on VS Code 2002. It works. Can you understand why? It might be because which version of .NET you're compiling against. That's actually something I need to go work on. I believe it's covered in the Maldev Academy. So it's something that is on my to-learn list, but honestly, a lot of the process injection methods, like the detailed uses of them, I'm not familiar with. So it's something that I really do want to learn, because eventually I want to be able to do more with like loaders and find different ways to like obfuscate my workload. This is weird because I don't see. Let me try something. SC. Let's run SCQC vuln service form. Is it currently running? Oh, that's the method from Maldev Academy. Yeah, dude, I love Maldev Academy. You might actually be further than I am. Which module are you on? So I only got up to module 26 before I pivoted back over to RTO. Let me try something here. Start pending. Okay. So then do we have anything listening on netstat? There we go. 31338 is listening. Okay, perfect. So now if we connect to that, then we've got our system shell. Nice. Is this 100% something related to the compiler? Yeah, I'm sure it is. I just don't know enough about the different versions of Visual Studio to be able to tell you. Because you said it compiled like, so you tried 2019 and 2002, and it worked in 2002? Or was that 2020? Is that what you meant? Let's see. Okay, so at least we know the service binaries are working. Praise Jesus. Now, maybe we can get back to doing what we actually were trying to do, which is our SCCM stuff. What's this out? Yeah, I want to try this real quick here. I want to save this. Actually, I gotta do a beacon command register also for this. So let's do beacon command register. And this is going to be this right here. So we'll do that. Short description is going to be get SCCM NAA threads. And then long description is going to be get SCCM NAA threads using sharp SCCM. And then we'll put a usage in here. So actually, there's no usage really. It's just we got to run the command. so let's try that real fast. Let's go. We'll save that and we'll go reload our script. There it is. Reload. Good. And I want to try this real quick. So let's do get NAA creds. Oh, I actually want to try this at the system show. There we go. I want to see what happens now. Because before we ran this over... What? I just reloaded that, though. That's weird. Why would it have said that it can't find that? Hold on. Go reload our script again. We saved it, right? Yeah, we saved the script. Reload. Oh, damn it. It's because we did it... I remember now. I'm a dumbass. When we do these kind of commands, they need to be defined as an alias and not as a subroutine. That was the problem. So let's go reload this. Oh, give this just a second, because Sharp SCCM is a chonky boy. It's going to take it a minute to upload. What's weird is that I used the command line to compile in VS Code. It's the same for VS Code 2022. I don't know why Microsoft has to brainfuck key bindings for VS Code 2022. Yeah, no kidding, right? Call me Hurl. What's up, man? Dude, lurk. Yeah, if you got a lurk, man, go lurk. All right, so there's a catch here. This worked just fine when we did this with the TCP link, right? So bfarmer has this access to the system beacon that's TCP linked, and it worked fine. So that's actually one of the catches that we want to be able to do. So you know what I'm going to do? Actually, I'm going to put a helper note in here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put another helper note in here, and we're going to say must have admin access. Actually, I'm going to call this requirements. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do another dot here. Say administrator access. We're going to make this handy dandy. And we'll say not using SMB beacon. There we go. I wonder if there might be a way to actually check and see if it's running with an SMB beacon, and we can tell it, hey, don't do this because you're going to break your shit. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, so we'll save that. Perfect. It gets us what we wanted, though, because now if we look, we've got these creds here. So the SCCM_SVC account on the cyberbotic domain, which is really cool because remember, we're in the subdomain of dev, has these credentials so that we'd instantly have a foothold in the parent domain now, depending on whatever whatever permissions it has. I want to go try something real quick, actually. I want to run this with the disk option. Curious to see how it will work. I think we tried disk over SMB, and it didn't like it. I think it did the same thing. I think it busted it whenever we did that. Oh, interesting. So we get very different data whenever we do the disk option. We do still get the info back, though. Look at this. One of the options also, though, if we read it from disk, we can potentially get old credentials in here. Okay, cool. Interesting. All right, I think we're going to stick with the WMI method. We just have to remember that we can't do it over an SMB beacon. I want to try something. There's also a get NAA option here. Let me try something here. Get rid of all this. I think it's get NAA. Check the options here. So we can do this from the domain, local administrators group on a client, or EXE media. Okay. I'm not going to mess with the other approach to this. I think we're just going to get with the local. We're going to stick to the local one. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's see. There's one more here that we can use for lateral movement. Kill this one. The Windows system you have connection beacons is Defender enabled or disabled on them. Defender is enabled on every system in the environment. So, because what we do is we actually come over here to, I think it's DC2. I think that's where we set it. But yeah, in DC2, there was a group policy object that we could break linkage on that disabled Defender, and then that forces it to be re-enabled. So that's one of the things that is actually recommended for the course is that you run through and you see all the techniques available. Then you enable Defender and you run through the course again. We're actually on the third pass of the course, really. Well, 2.5, because once I got about halfway, I decided to just go enable Defender and start over. And then once we did that, we ran through everything, and now we're running through everything again, making the custom aggressor script. I'm checking something real quick. I need to see what... So there's an exec option to SCCM. Let's go take a look at what we've got there. Where we can actually have sharp SCCM actually run executables for us. So the attack in option is... Oh, that's the collection name to run it against. Okay. Or we can pass it the collection ID. So if we run our SCCM get info, cyber optic IO. So we'll run this here. I have to give this a second, because like I said, this binary is a chonky boy. There we go. So then we see this is the machine actually running it. Oh, this may not actually work super well because I forgot we're running this as the system config. Yeah, not authorized, access denied. So actually we should be running this from bfarmer here. Ah, damn it. Cyber Logic.io. So we'll run this again. We're going to get this info back. Oh, it's so slow. It's so chunky. This is where the data store option would be nice. So there is an option in the beacon you could actually send a .NET binary up and be able to access it. But to do that, you've got to use a beacon object file, which requires some C programming. And they're very briefly touched on, but not enough that I would feel comfortable trying to attempt that. So yeah, so what we could do is we could tell it, go to this collection ID, or this right here. I think you can actually target it where it specifically hits a particular server. Let's see. The command or UNC path of the binary / script to execute. Okay. Let's see, so we have a relay server, resources, run as system, collection type. You can do the site code. Okay, I thought you could actually pass it a particular service that, or like machine you wanted it to run on. But it looks like your option is basically run it on everything that's in the site. Oh, let me see about this. So one thing we could do is we could actually go through, because there's a couple things we're going to need to get the execute to work. So this is our SCCM lateral movement. So what we're going to need from this is we're going to need TAC N. That's going to be the collection to run it against. So the collection name, and then TAC P. What was TAC P? It was the command to run, wasn't it? The command or the UNC path to run. Okay. So that's our command that we want to run. And then we want to tell it also TAC S. So what does TAC S do? Oh God, what am I doing? TAC S. TAC S is, oh, run as system. Okay. That's what that does. And then no banner. That just says, hey, hide this stupid ass banner that comes up here with it. All right. So I kind of want to test this. I kind of don't. Because we have two options. We could go put a binary somewhere in a network path that's accessible to everything and let people be able to run that. That's funny that he used Cave Johnson as the example user. I freaking love that. If y'all don't know, Cave Johnson was the CEO of Aperture Sciences from the Portal games. Man, now oh dude, I can't wait. I really want to go play Portal now with my son, my younger son, my older son, because he's really starting to kind of get into video games. And so I'm trying to think of games that will help him actually like learn important skills. He likes playing Minecraft, so he's learning how to craft stuff. He likes this like train controller game, and I was like, actually, that's really good because it's going to teach him some a little bit of like prioritization, right? Because you have to control the trains in a particular order. So I'm trying to think of fun games for him. GoPro, what's up, dude? Dude, I'm not going to be on too much longer. I think after we wrap up the SCCM stuff, I'm going to bail because we had to go through a big-ass rigmarole thinking our binaries are broken again.
User JCD MVP is online.
The MVP is online. Hell yeah. All right, I think we're going to do one more helper function here. I'm going to go ahead and snooze the ads again. And so I'm going to call this, this is going to be mass lateral movement. So we'll do an alias for this also. Check out this game. Dude, you're a mod. You can drop links. You don't got to obfuscate them. Yeah, mods and VIPs can drop links. Everyone else has to get the permit. Oh, Turing Complete. Yeah. I have this game. Actually, I've been meaning to play it. Learn CPU architecture with puzzles. Shit, I had to go play this too. Ooh, yeah. Well, that's loud. You're not missing anything, by the way. It's just music. Oh, that's awesome. Eventually complete your first computer. Oh, that's badass. So I think Turing Complete might be a little too advanced for him because he's 5. But yeah, actually, I do want to kind of play this game. Maybe that's something we'll also do. I thought about trying to find like some fun computer hackish games to play between finishing RTO 1 and RTO 2. Right now, I'm thinking I'll probably wrap up RTO 1 beginning of July. And then we're going to do stuff like doing lab build out, doing some testing of different tools in there and having some fun with it. But things like maybe on Saturday, play like some of these games and just have like a fun Q&A time while busting through these games. Because I know people have a lot of questions. Sometimes they feel like, hey, I don't want to distract, people don't want to distract me while I'm working on stuff. It's like, dude, it's a fucking learning stream. You're supposed to distract me some. But actually, GoPro, believe it or not, the next thing I'm going to start with him is start teaching him logic. So that game actually might be good just for that portion. I wanted him to learn like, if, and, or, like just those very basic ones and learn how to kind of deal with logic a little bit. So that might actually be really good for that. Thank you for reminding me about that game. Yeah, that would be sweet. And he likes to tinker with stuff. Dude, I can't wait. I've got a guy on Facebook selling me a couple of old busted ass two-stroke motors, like from an ATV. And so we got a little spot set up in the garage for him to start taking that apart because I want to start showing him the mechanical pieces. Because it's one thing to understand the theory, right? That's kind of where I was. Like I understood the theory of how 2-strokes and 4-strokes worked. But once you start getting in, there's so many like small compensating parts that you just don't think about. Xcode is approved for HS4 and up according to Apple. Xcode is approved for nobody because it's hot garbage. Gaming will happen on Linux way before it happens on Mac. In fact, I'm going to call this mass lateral movement. So that the name is so ridiculous, I take it seriously. That's not what I wanted to register. There we go. So we're going to drop in the command's name. It's be let's see. So specify command to run against all machines in a collection. And I'm going to actually copy this real quick. Take that out. And then we'll have to think about how we want the usage to work on this. So the usage is handy because then we can kind of prototype out how we want the arguments to be done. So a couple of arguments we know we're going to need is we're going to need the collection name. And then we're going to need do this. At that age, I was figuring out how to throw Hadouken with Ryu in Street Fighter. So what's funny, Cryo, is I actually took my family to an arcade called Free Play. There's a couple of them here in the Dallas area, and so we went to one, and it's like all the old. It's like some of the oldest games they have are like from the oldest one I remember seeing is 1983, up to like a little bit more modern, like maybe 2010-ish. Probably not even that new, but like it's all these old arcade games. Just it's huge. It's a great place, and they have like an entire row that's lined both sides with just pinball games also, and they have like some really obscure Japanese arcade cabinets too. It's a lot of fun, and it's like $13, so you can play all you want. And so took the kids there. They had a blast. I got actually a hilarious picture of me holding my youngest son, and I'm playing a shooting game because like I'm shooting left-handed, which I'm not left-handed. So it made it even more fun. And the game, the graphics were just so abysmal. And you could tell that the gun was like slightly out of whack. So like my bullets are like hitting slightly off to the side. But it's unlimited. So I was like, oh, I'm dead. Drop another fake quarter in and go to it. And so my friends that came, some friends that came with us have pictures of it. I need to go message her to get those pictures of it because it's hilarious. My son is just, my younger son, he's 2. He's just out. He's just, like just limp on my shoulder, and so I'm just sitting here shooting. It was a lot of fun, and then once he woke up, he's like he just wanted to sit in my lap and play all the driving games. So my only regret was actually I stayed up way too late last night streaming because we were redoing the AV bypasses. I was so damn tired today. I only got like 3 hours of sleep last night. So actually my wife is really awesome. We got home like kind of late in the afternoon. She cooked up dinner real fast, and then I took like a 2-hour nap before the stream just so my brain would be functional. Actually, I think that's really it. We just need those 2 things. We just need the collection and the command to run. Oh, okay, that's actually gonna be not too bad. So let's do this real quick. Let's do... Actually, this is something I wanted to try. So, $1 is always going to be our beacon. Actually, I'm going to specify that, $1. Just for completeness sake. And then $2 is going to be our collection name. That's going to be $2. And then... I'm trying to remember how I did this before. I think it was a join? A split and a join? Was it split? No. Join? Yes, here we go. Just like this. This was our little cheater method so that we could take all the previous arguments and join them together. Here we go. So then our command is going to be equal to this. Perfect. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Oh, let me see if I can snooze the ads again real quick. I'm going to see if we can do this real quick before the ads run out. We got 7 minutes. Just so we don't have to deal with that for the rest of the stream. All right. Let's see here. Let me see. All right, so then what we're going to do... Actually, I think that's it. We're just going to do B execute assembly. And this actually makes it real easy because we could just do this. We'll specify the assembly is going to be sharp SCCM. And then our parameters is going to be the args, but we haven't defined that yet. So we'll do $args. And then now all we have to do is just define args. We good. So args is going to equal exec tac in space, and we'll close that, and then we're gonna string append. Actually, I'm gonna do this multi-line here because I like the way that looks better. So this is gonna be the call name, the collection name, and then after we have the collection name, actually, I want to do it a little bit differently. I want to do it like this. So that way we can see the what we're passing to that particular parameter a little bit more easy. So then we'll do this, and then we're going to do tac p, which is going to be the command. All right, let's see. So we'll do the command here. Yeah, that's going to be tac p. And then we're going to do just our finishers here. So we'll do tac S, and then tac, no tac banner. Oh, there we go. I think that should work right there. Actually, no, it's not, because we're going to need to put some leading spaces in here. And the reason is because this is just going to drop the exact string in there, so we want that to be okay. Cool. I think that actually will work. So what we'd have to do is we'd actually have to go make a DNS listener that could actually do this. Hello, Panda. We'd have to go pre-stage this real quick. Let me think about this. Hello, Panda. Like, you abandoned me all day to go play video games. You know what I think we can do, actually? I think even from B Farmer, I think we can access the... Let's try something. Let's get. We can go to DC2. There's a... What is this? There's a software directory. I think we could just upload our payloads DNS x64.exe. Yeah. Let's see if we have access to this. I think we do. Nice, we do. Hey, Brumbo. No, I did. I only slept like 3 hours last night, but then I managed to catch a 2-hour nap because my wife is amazing. And she puts up with all levels of bullshit for me. So, we're out running around all day. I caught like a 2-hour nap, and then I hopped onto stream, basically. Scarf down dinner. You're not really supposed to, like... Get down, Panda. You're not really supposed to eat and sleep, but, dude, it's kind of just like how I survive. It's like, I go eat something, and then I go sleep. GoPro took like a 3-hour nap. Damn, man. One thing I've learned is, like, I really cannot force myself to, like, stay up late. I did that last week. I stayed up real late working on I stayed up real late working on, what was it? A report for a client. And then that just jacked up my Friday. So, okay, let's see if I can do this real quick. Scripts, reload. All right, so if this works, we're actually going to see like a flood of DNS beacons start coming back. So we're going to do this from B Farmer here, I think. Or do we need to do this as J King? I'm trying to remember. Nope, we're going to do it. We're going to do a make token. And it's going to be against cyber_SCCM_SVC. All right, I'm not going to get this done before the ads run, so I'm going to run them real quick so we can actually do this on stream. So I'm going to just do a quick 1-minute ad so we can get through this. So bear with me, folks. Okay, let that run real quick. And what was our password here? There it is. Copy that. That's all we need. Let me check the help token. Yeah, that's it. Actually, I'm going to do that over here.
Caution. A virus has been detected.
Tennis!
_tennis virus detected in
The
the
head
network.
tennis virus. You know what? He appreciates a good Cookie Monster virus. Oh, jeez. I'm just messing up. I need to make a thing in StreamerBot to automatically drop a spam of Cookie Monsters anytime a raid comes in. Pillage, then burn. Yes, there is an order of operations to these things. Tennis, actually, I had a question for you. I've been meaning to pop into your stream to ask. This had to do with an exploit I was trying to develop with a PHP bug. What happens if you try to rm rf/dev null? Will it just like spaz out and not delete it, or will it actually jack shit up if you're running as root? That's what I thought. So we actually found a command injection in a PHP system, but it was prepended by checking to make sure a file exists, and then it would try to delete it. And so what we could do is actually we could go inject into that process. I forget the exact code. I don't care. As long as it actually tries, like, it realizes dev null is like an actual file and checks it. I think that would work, because I'm like, hey, what if we just tell it to like delete dev null or some other device that it can't delete, and then we let our appended command actually hit it. Love the dial-up sound.
User core count is online.
That should unlink the dev null. Might mess up other stuff later down the line. Hey, I don't care, because once I get root execution on the box, I can backdoor it and I can just reboot it to fix that. If I don't give them access to dev null, poop bucket, things don't work. I never heard it called the poop bucket, but that's so perfect. I've heard it called the bit bucket, but I like calling it the poop bucket now. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, let's see if we can get our SCCM mass lateral movement command to work. So if this works, it's going to run our binary against every machine in the collection. So it's like 6, we should see like 6 different shells come back. Oh, stupid ads are in progress. Hang on, Major. If you can hear me, I don't know if the ads are showing up for you. The stupid 30-second ad just started up, and I'll explain it to you. Hacker Jungle Gym. Rumbo, that is accurate, yes. So, yeah, no dumb questions. No, so I am a penetration tester, so basically companies hired me to go break into their systems. And there's actually a further subspecialization of penetration testing called red teaming. And the difference is I liken penetration testing to more of a smash and grab. You bust in, you get everything you can, you're not worried about being stealthy, and you get out. And red team is more like Ocean's 11. You're trying to be stealthy and not get detected, or you're causing a distraction somewhere to like distract from something. So that's what we're doing now. I've been a penetration tester for 6 years. I've been in IT for 14 years. Tennis, who just rated in, is a super ultra mega Linux graybeard wizard, like to the nth degree. And he's really smart. So I was asking his opinion on something, like if I tried to craft an exploit for a system and I tried to do a particular weird thing, which was delete something that pretends to be a file in Linux, but isn't really, it's called a pseudo file, what would happen? Some bad logging code thought I was doing a file rotation, moved dev null to dev null 1 on me. Replaced dev null with a regular file. Yeah, actually, Euler, that's a good way to look at it. That's a good explanation. Oh, dude, he's a freaking wizard. And you know what's funny is everybody's like, oh, well, Linux is more secure. It's not more secure, it's more obscure. There's a distinction there. Some of the worst viruses replicated on Linux because the system is largely open source and the technologies are all well known. And so that's why that XZ bug was so bad, because it was pretty much on every system. So we just come in here, we are blasted through doing a bunch of RTO stuff. This is a course actually that we're running through I don't show the course material on stream, but I do a bunch of weird shit in the lab and kind of explain what's going on. People ask questions. It's a total learning stream. Everybody asks questions, and I love it. I like teaching. I taught at Black Hat for 4 years. And so I tried to actually move the course. It was a really dense course for 2 days. I tried to move it to a 4-day slot. They rejected the course. So I'm like, all right, fine. Just means I don't have to go spend 11 days in Vegas this year. Yes, also check out InfoSec streams. It is amazeballs. And there's folks on there a lot. There's not usually too many on this time of day. I'm actually trying to recruit more Australian streamers because I figured they could cover the overnight hours. I want InfoSec streams to have 24-hour coverage most days. And so I'm trying to actually find some more Aussie security streamers or encourage them to do it. Actually, I had a fellow stop in from Singapore. I thought maybe he'd be interested. I don't know. There you go, bro. Yeah, great minds. Yeah, because if we look at, let's go pull it up real quick. Hey, I am online. So, actually, this is good though because we're about done for the night. It sucks because we had two really awesome raids come in, and I love you guys. I just stayed up way too late last night. We were doing some antivirus bypasses, and it ended up taking longer than I thought. Actually, diagnosing the problem is what took the longest, and then we went through like the entire process because some of the guys were curious about it, how to identify like where antivirus was flagging statically on the binary and fixing it. I don't know why it's not showing me online, GoPro. Look at that. I should have a green dot. There is no green dot. I is sad. But actually, this is cool because Gamzo is online, so hopefully they'll still be online when we finish up, and I'll have somebody to actually raid. Because when I go to raid, I check this list first thing. Usually it's just me online. Okay. Alright, so what I did here, I did something real quick while the stream was off. I actually made a token for the SCCM account, which we dumped out up here, right? We got the username and password. So now we should have plenty of access to the config man server, and we can actually go run our mass lateral movement thing. So I think before I do this, actually, let me do that. Clear. There we go. Let me do this. Let's do SCCM get info. Damn it. Cyberlogic.io. Let's go pull the info down for this again real quick. It could also be Twitch's side. I mean, Twitch is not infallible. They could have just not sent the webhook. Actually, I was really happy. I figured out something on StreamerBot. So I'm working on automating a lot of stuff in the stream in StreamerBot. And one thing it does is whenever I go live, it automatically drops a notification in the Discord. And so I got to figure out how to get it to do the emojis, though. Because I really want those in there. Yeah, it's dead on because as soon as it sees me go online, SM, it's like, bam, straight to the Discord. Okay, so the webhook actually tries 3 times. Badass. That's very cute. Oh, dang it. Okay, so this is something that's also interesting. So we ran this as the SCCM service account. It didn't come back. But if we go run that as Bob Farmer, we actually get 2 groups of collections here. So I'm actually going to run this against the dev collection. So what we're going to do is... Oh, not that. So if we do our mass lateral movement, we got to give it the collection name we're going to run. So it's going to be... That's going to be dev. And then we're going to give it the command we want to run. So the command we want to run, I believe... I'm actually going to try this command directly from the example, because this is kind of where I uploaded the binary anyway.
User am not _cool is online.
I'm not cool. Yes, you are. Your toad's cool. Thanks for coming online, man. Yeah, it looks like I do this pretty much every night. except Fridays. I take Fridays off to go spend with the family. Because if I didn't take at least one night off, my wife probably would murder me in my sleep. So she puts up with a lot. I don't think she put up with 7 days a week of my shenanigans. She's got to have a day off. So I take Fridays off, and then Tuesday and Thursday, we actually do a learning stream with my buddy Salty. We're going through and doing some Try Hack Me stuff. It's very beginner stuff. He likes it. I like it. So as long as Salty's still having a good time, I'm going to keep doing it. That's pretty much how it goes. All right, let's see if this actually works. I wish I could get the data store working so I didn't have to wait, 5 seconds or 10 seconds every time for it to upload this chonky-ass binary. All right, so let's see what the command it ran was. So... Oh, so TAC-P didn't run anything. Look at that. All right, let's go check our code again real quick. I wonder why... Oh, you know why? Because we're expecting the size of the item here. That's why. We need to go... We're missing a parameter. We need to tell it the size. It's equal to the size of the array, just at underscore. There we go. I think that's correct. So we didn't have this was not a declared variable. See that? That's what it was doing. All right, let's go try this again. Let's reload our script. So what we're doing now is we've actually gone through the course material a couple of times. We're doing another run through, and I'm making this cool little helper script here called an aggressor script, and it lets us automate a bunch of basically boring and mundane and long to type out tasks. Not related to Salty Catfish. No, actually, here, I'll give him a shout out because he'll get a notification about it. I just like to mess with him. Salty Demon 86. All right, night GoPro. Actually, I'm going to be wrapping up after this works. If it doesn't work, well, I'll just pick up with it next time on the stream. So because it is getting super late. It's already it's getting close to midnight here. Yeah, GoPro actually usually streams during the day. So like I said, if you got time and you're looking for something to watch, even passively, check out InfoSec streams because he'll be. There's a lot of folks that actually do stream in the middle of the day. I just can't do it because I work full time and then I've got kids, so I can only really stream late at night. All right, so we got this running. Hell yeah. Let's see if it works now. I'm probably getting ahead of myself here. And so this was the giveaway. We tasked the beacon to run this, and the TAC-P parameter was empty.
User Flat Black is online.
Flat DJ Black. What's up, man? Thanks for coming online. I need to work on a little bit more of the overlay for the stream. I wanted to have like a couple of items down here at the bottom. One of them being like a loading screen. Uh-oh. I think we did it. Yeah, we totally did. Oh god, what did we do? Oh, you know what I bet we need to do? That's what. Look at this. This has to be encapsulated in double quotes so it recognizes this as a single command. We didn't do that. So, easy fix though. All we got to do is we're going to put in a / double quote, and then we're going to append a / double quote. Boom, we're good. So that fix should do it. We reload our script. And let's try this again. I think we did it here. Yeah, there we go. All right. Third time's a charm. Let's do this. Bravo, Among Us. That's what that is. Oh, no, that's it. So there's another guy. He's got that similar one, but it's the yellow Among Us guy. And the emoji's called Among Us. What do you mean found 0? Hang on. I might actually need to run this command. I just realized. Maybe we can run this as bee farmer. Let me see. Because I just realized whenever we run the collection, get using the SCCM creds, we don't get that. Dang it, I don't think he has the permissions to do this. I think we might actually need to do this as J King. Let's try something here real quick. I think it's our token store list. Sure, that's what it is. What do we have in the token store? Nothing. J King has a token on here we can steal. J King is a system administrator, so I bet their token would work. 6804. Okay. Let's go ahead and steal token 6804. And I'm going to try the mass lateral movement again. Because J King should have, probably has administration over the SCCM. And if this works, I can finally get ready for bed. Actually, got to go walk the dog. Oh, it looks like it's working. So we're watching down here to see if we see, and up here to see if we see new beacons come back. We should see like 6 DNS beacons start coming back. Oh, it's doing stuff. Oh, I just thought of a new sound alert I want to do. That it's working from Phantom Menace. It's working! I don't care what anybody says. I like the prequel movies. I'll take that back. Attack of the Clones was actually really boring. I fell asleep during it. But episodes 1 and 3 were really good. Episode 3 was definitely the best. Okay, so it's waiting for the execution to complete. And then after the 1 minute's up, it's going to do the cleanup. So we're going to chill here for just a second. We're going to let it do its thing. Hello, Panda. By the way, for all the new viewers here, this is Panda the hacking dog. She's my sidekick. She's also a cold-blooded murderer. I have chickens that I was just starting to raise. My first batch of 4 chickens. She killed 3 of them. I don't know what happened to the 4th one. He disappeared into the Nope dimension and came back 3 days later. Or she did. Oh, look at that. Look at all those beacons flying back in. Hell yeah. I do SM. I'm trying to think of stuff. I was going to add a couple more sound alerts because I think they're fun. I like them. Look at all those beacons flying back in. Heck yeah. I'm done. Nice. Check that out. Should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, it hit every machine in the collection. Let me see. Oh no, don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. No. Shit. Clear. 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 All right, I think I caught it before it actually fired that. So I'm trying to think of some more fun ones. SM also, so if you have suggestions, dude, just let me know. Because right now there's Hack the Planet, and I can't hear you for whenever I would dumbass and talking on mute. Which thankfully has been, like, less frequent, but... I just want all these to check in so I can see, make sure all the machines I expected to check in did. But that's probably where we're going to wrap it up for tonight. So I'm going to actually go... I dropped this aggressor script over into a GitHub repository, so I will link that here in just a second too. Let's see. Let's do... Let me update this. There we go. Commit changes. Added SCCM mass lateral movement. And NAA. Alright, let's do it. There we go. Boom. So this is the repository where we're dropping this stuff. So if anybody wants to check out the code, like what we've been developing in here, there it is. All the stuff that we've kind of, some notes about the, actually it's just the full script in here. So if you want to like tinker with it, the coding language is really esoteric. It's called Sleep. And literally this is the only system I know that uses it. I got 23,000 points. I don't know what to spend it on. I actually thought about making like a gag one on here that was like 1,000,000 points. And it was, I will hack whatever you tell me to. And so I thought about putting that in there just to like tease people that I haven't gotten to it yet. Oreo, hey man. Cool, check out all those beacons. And all these are running a system too. So that's sweet. We got workstation 1. We got workstation 2. Oh, it's so nice. Check that out. Yeah, so we got the DC, DC2, the file server, SQL 2, the web, workstations 1 and 2. Awesome. All right, cool. Let's do something here real quick. Let's go check. Let's see if Gazmo's still online. No! Damn you, Gazmo. You're supposed to still be on so we know who to raid. If anybody has a raid suggestion, preferably someone else doing some kind of cybersecurity or just cool coding exercises, drop them in the chat. Let's see who's going on here. Let's go check out... I always like to check out science and tech. I have a machine that turns soldering into burnt hands. That actually sounds pretty funny. I like that. Let's see. Anybody else doing anything kind of fun, techie stuff? There's a flat earth guy. That's kind of... It's an exercise in non-logical thinking. An ASCII aquarium? That's actually pretty cool. I want to check out this person, Soy Milk. See what they're doing. Oh, they're doing Taco Bell. That's what they're doing. I don't recommend Taco Bell. Alright, let's see. Maybe make sure I save this real quick before I close it out. Yes, I did. Awesome. Alright, let me go. I'm going to actually shut down the lab so I can try and conserve some of my lab time. I only got 22 hours left. We're going to eat through that in like 6 days. Here we go. I like that her eyes are actually in the goggles. That's hilarious. Can't hear you. Yeah, I think actually that. Let's go raid Soy Milk. We're actually doing some cool techie stuff. I did not make HackerBot yet. HackerBot kind of exists. It's actually being run by StreamerBot right now. So whenever I go live, HackerBot is the name that's used to paste it in there. I need to go work on it. I haven't taken any time to put the Turing Pie together yet and load up the language model and start testing it. Because I think one of the things I can do with StreamerBot is whenever chat commands come in, I can have it actually process things like every time something comes through in chat. And then I just got to figure out the logic of it. Like, hey, I want it to do certain things. It's got to make an API call over to the Turing Pie. So, all right, guys, let's wrap this up. Let me set up the raid real quick. Do this. Where's Soy Milk? I just saw you. There you go. Let's do fun stuff. All right, everyone, y'all have a fantastic night. I love you. Thanks for hanging out while we're doing all the hacker shenanigans. We're going to get back to this tomorrow night. Tuesday night, we're going to be hacking with Salty. So I hope everyone has a fantastic week coming up. Go out there, get some. You got this. I believe in you. I love you. Peace.